Hello, good day. My name is William Dunn. I'm the president of Dunn Solutions, and I welcome you to our webinar, Creating a Complete B2B Experience Beyond the Cart. Today, we're going to focus a little bit on what it takes to really do digital transformation within your organization and how it's a little bit more than just putting up a shopping cart and getting started. And I'd like to tell you a little bit about our company to start. Dunn Solutions, we're an IT consultancy. We deliver velocity to our clients, and velocity is more than just speed. It's the combination of speed and direction. Speed, we give you speed by automating business processes, but we also used advanced analytics to give you direction and to know where to go. And if you can combine speed and direction, you end up with velocity. I want to start out sort of setting the stage with this concept of the virtuous cycle of customer engagement. And this is, we feel, a number of touch points that you have throughout dealing with customers. And if you can work these touch points correctly, you're going to have a very, very good digital experience. So the first one at the top is this concept of marketing automation, where you message your customers with information that they actually care about and have them come to your site. We have this concept of a digital commerce platform, a digital experience platform, where your customers will engage with you, and we'll talk a little bit more about what's required to make that successful. That creates a whole bunch of information, which is data, and then a data analytics part is really important because that allows us to understand what's happening within our customers. And finally, we can use all that information from the analytics to drive back into marketing automation again to create better messaging. So if you could do all of these things, you would have this virtuous cycle of customer engagement. And what I want to talk about today is the enabling technologies behind each one of these things and why it's important that you understand all of these different aspects of digital transformation beyond just creating an e-commerce site. So let's talk a little bit about the background. B2B commerce is huge, and it continues to grow every single year. In fact, you may not realize this, but B2B e-commerce is even bigger than B2C e-commerce. And in fact, it's becoming a very large part of manufacturers and distributors' channels. So they're looking at in traditional selling, but they're seeing that e-commerce selling is taking up a bigger and bigger chunk. And if you're not doing B2B e-commerce, you're really missing out because your competitors are. And it's something that people have come to expect when they're dealing with you and when they want to buy your products. So how are people's expectations of B2B commerce changing over the last few years? In the beginning, the expectations were very light. We used to think that, like, well, B2C has got to have those fancy web pages and graphics and helpful things, but in B2B, they're mainly doing reordering. So why is there such a focus on the user interface or the experience? And the reason is that the buyers for these products, their tastes are changing, and they're experiencing at home what they can get with B2C, and then when they come into the office, they really want that same experience with B2B. So what they're looking for is a personalized shopping experience, an experience where the website is helping them to do their job, not just merely taking orders. They're also looking for an omni-channel experience. So basically, if they want to order on their iPhone or Apple phone, or if they want to order their desktop, they can do that, and they can do it with ease. And so they can, no matter where they go, they can order the way they want to order. They're also looking for something that's difficult to do without lots and lots of salespeople and call centers, and they want a 24/7 experience. So a lot of times when we're talking to B2B buyers, we find that they're working all sorts of hours. 2 a.m. they're in the back in the warehouse, and they find out that they're missing something. They want to be able to place that order right then and there, and they want to be able to do it easily. So they're expecting the same level of experience in their professional lives that they're getting in their personal lives. And It's been a challenge because in the B2B world, companies have traditionally valued salespeople and in-person kind of interactions as the number one way of doing business. But now is the time to leverage e-commerce plus your sales team together, make them complementary, and give your customers the full experience whenever they want it, how they want it, and help them do their jobs. So let's talk a little bit more about what that means. The big question is, in B2B, does customer experience matter? And again, contrary to maybe popular belief, B2B experience really does matter, and it matters a lot. In a recent survey, you see that over 80% of B2B buyers say that the experience that they have when they're in the buying process is as important as the products and services they're buying. And this is especially true if you're buying commodity items, because at the end of the day, if it's a commodity item, it's the shopping experience, it's the help you get when you buy the product that really makes a difference as to where you're going to place your order. And so if we're giving people an experience that's easy for them to use, if we're helping them do their job, we're guaranteeing that we're creating sort of a moat around the switching to another vendor. And so a lot of customers are still saying that their B2B experiences are falling short of their expectations. And while you're wondering whether this is important and whether it's a place to spend money, most B2B customers say that they'll pay a little more for a great experience. And so these are things that you need to keep in mind when deciding how much you're going to invest in a B2B digital transformation. So let's say you're going, yep, I got it, you convinced me, we need to do B2B, we're going to put up that shopping cart and we're going to start immediately taking orders and the world's going to be great. And the issue sometimes is that when B2B sellers are creating their experience, they're only focusing on the shopping experience. So when they're looking out there like, well, we need to have that shopping cart, it's got to have those B2B features, right? We've got our checklist, we need customer specific pricing, we need to be able to do quoting and workflow and manager approval, we need tiered pricing, we need to have back-end integration to our ERP as well as our warehouses. And yes, of course, you need all those things. And it's very important when looking for a B2B e-commerce experience that you purchase a catalog and cart that handles B2B. Not all the B2C products have those features. So this is very important, but this is only a part of the entire flow that a customer goes through as you're going through their buying journey. In fact, there are other parts of the buying journey that happen ahead of time, like the attract phase. The engage and convert phases, that's where we're interacting with the customer and trying to get them to buy. Yes, the catalog and cart's important there, but it's only one aspect. And finally, post-sale, we have this retain phase where we're trying to service our customer. Well, the catalog and cart doesn't really address that either. So as we go through this entire customer journey from attract, engage, convert, retain, we need to think about the other things that people are looking for on the way. So what are the key points that people are looking for? And I think you have to see that personalization is one of those key aspects. Personalization means that when I'm using the site, when I come to your site, whether to shop or to learn or to interact, you know something about me because I'm a registered user. I'm a user that's been there. You know my purchase history. You know the things I'm interested in. So you're helping me do my job. You're helping me by presenting me with information that's important to me as I make my decisions. So instead of me hunting around for the thing that I want, you're presenting that to me. And so you're getting towards that more Amazon-like experience. And I think, quite frankly, in a B2B world, you can exceed Amazon because you are experts in your specific area. So what you can do is you can create an even more personalized experience than you would get on Amazon. But you need to realize that this is really important. If you see there, close to 70% of customers surveyed actually want that personalized experience. So how do we get there? How do we get to that personalization? Well, the way to do it is collect data. Collect lots of data. Start tracking the web pages that your customers go to. Start tracking which categories they're interested in, what they're purchasing, what their habits are, how often they buy, what's their churn rate. All of that stuff can be tracked. And if you have that infrastructure to track that and you have the analytics, and by the way, I do want to say when I'm talking about analytics, I'm not talking about just Google Analytics. Google Analytics only gives you a slice of that information. To really get a 360 view of the customer, you need to have analytics about your customer's purchase history, which products they bought, the pricing they paid, all of that stuff. And you can use all of that information to start profiling your customers, and you can use data mining and predictive models to start segmenting your customers into areas of interest. And so you can identify what they should be purchasing from you. So I'll give you an example. If you've got a customer that's purchasing sugar, for instance, and all the other customers that are purchasing sugar from you are also purchasing sugar and flour, but this customer isn't, well, you should start offering this person flour as an upsell, cross-sell. Why? Because they're part of that cohort that wants that type of product. Maybe they just didn't even know you had it. And so by putting that in front of them, you're giving them some hints as to how they could be getting more services from you. And so this is where you can feed all this information, not only into your website, which we'll talk about in a little bit, but also into your marketing automation. So data and data analytics is a big part of what we do. And it's part of the overall transformation of how you're selling to your customers. So once you've got your data, you start your segments, and you can create different customer journeys based on each segment. So customer journey is kind of a nebulous. What does that mean? What that means is when the customer comes to your website, once we've identified what they're interested in and what segment they're interested in, we don't just start giving them generic pages and generic images and generic information. We start giving them things that are based on what they are interested in. So they start seeing that shopping experience, and they start seeing products and services that are most interesting to them. And basically by doing that, you're not selling. What you're doing is you're helping them. You're helping them on their journey. You're helping them identify the products and services that they really need. And the nice thing about using data analytics to do this is not a static thing. It's not like you do it once and then that customer is stuck in that journey forever. As that customer starts buying different things, or if their needs change, that data will be reflected and their journey can change too. And the cool thing is this can all be done dynamically. So this can all be driven, data-driven, and automated. This is not something where somebody has to manually go into each customer and make changes. We're going to code those customers and we're going to put them into a segment, and that segment is going to drive what it is they're going to see on the website. So for instance, this is an example. We're on a web page, and when you first come to the web page, we don't really know what you're interested in. So we've got sort of this generic banner, and then we may be showing you a whole bunch of different types of products, that are in the best sellers category, because we're trying to understand what it is that you want. But as you start using the site, and as you start ordering, and as you start visiting different pages, we start learning more about you, and we start learning more about what you're particularly interested in. So instead of this sort of generic view, you might change into a specific view. So this customer, for instance, is particularly interested in cameras and digital cameras, and they're shopping right now for digital cameras. So what we're going to do is we're going to change the view that they have from the generic view to one that's specifically focused on the things they're interested in, which are these digital cameras. And in fact, we're even going to suggest digital cameras in the section here under, instead of just showing generically things people buy, we're going to say products you may like. And we start showing them information that's relevant to the things that they are interested in. Now, of course, our example here, we've got cameras, but this can play in any vertical, whether you're selling food ingredients or whether you're selling chemicals or whether you're selling machine tool parts. It's the same thing. You typically have your products divided into categories, and then those categories contain certain types of sellers. And so what we can do is start surfacing up. Once we understand what the customer wants, we start surfacing up that category and start showing the customer products that are specific to that category. Of course, when you're looking for shoes and you come to a website, it starts showing you something like suits or pants. You know, how excited are you going to be about that, and how much time are you going to spend on that website? If you start seeing the thing you're interested in, whether it's shoes or cameras, you're going to be happy and you're going to shop more because this site is giving you what you need. So this is how this personalization and data ends up being viewed at the end of the day by the customer. Very important. So how do we do this? How is it possible? What do we need to do under the covers to have these types of things? Well, you need to have a few different things. You need to have a web presence that's based on a robust content management solution, right? So it's not just a product catalog, which is super important. Obviously, you need that, but you also need a content management solution that contains all the other things that are around those products. So that might be blogs, that might be news articles, it might be images, it might be introductory text. All of that stuff needs to be able to be served dynamically and then served in a way that's targeted to the different personalization attributes that a customer has and the different segments they're in. So what you need to also have is a software that allows you to do all that as a marketing person, that you don't have to be a programmer to tag and create and display content that's relevant. The other thing you also need is you need some sort of data analytics platform, because you need a way to be able to capture all that data, analyze it, do your models, and then create those segments. So a data analytics platform combined with the robust content management solution is really critical. Those are critical enabling technologies that you need to have in your digital transformation B2B selling solution. So now, if we look across our buying journey, which attract, engage, convert, retain, we have some other technologies that are very important that are augmenting our cart, right? We have our content management solution, which is going to present content for us right when they first visit the website, even when they're just in the introductory phases of learning about your products. We're going to have data and analytics to help drive both the content and also help drive which products from the cart are shown. And all of that is going to live throughout the entire journey that the customer has. And so that attract phase that we're now enabling, marketing automation, segmentation, customer communities, blogs and white papers, videos, landing pages, all those things are critical to really creating that full customer journey. So is that the end of the journey? And I would say no, it's not, because post-sale customer service is also a critical part of the journey. So when you're selling, you shouldn't be viewing customer service as a cost center. It's actually another way to sell. And it's a key element of what a customer experiences when they buy a product from you, when they have issues, when they need to get product information like user manuals or material safety data sheets or installation instructions. They're going to come back to your site and they're going to want a place where they can see all this information to make sure that they're successful with a post-purchase experience. So again, here we know what they bought, especially if they're logged in. We can start showing them information that is important to what they bought. Wouldn't it be great if they bought a particular piece of equipment? You would have the user manual waiting for them in a section called My Equipment, and they'd be able to just figure out how to use it, or maybe there's an installation video that they have easy access to. So customers want this, and they want this 24/7, and they want this without having to pick up the phone and call somebody. They just want to be able to get it online and get it quickly, and get it at 3 a.m. in the morning as well. So they are looking for that personalized experience, and having a customer portal is a way to do that. So in addition, and another enabling technology that you should really consider is a customer or vendor portal. And that really brings you a lot of those other elements, a lot of the content, and a lot of the things that you wouldn't really use during the shopping process, but you would use afterwards. The other thing that you can do with a vendor portal is you can give your customer access to some of your back-end systems, like your ERP or other things, so they can check their order status, they can pay bills, they can get their statements. And you wouldn't want to really give them access to your ERP directly, but if you had a vendor portal, you could let them sign into the vendor portal and present them with a very easy, friendly way of getting access to all that information. So in the retention part, when we're looking at loyalty, churn analysis, customer surveys, post-sale support, communities and forums and all that stuff, that customer vendor portal becomes another important enabling technology. So really what we're looking for as we go through trying to service a customer through their entire life cycle is we're looking to be able to help them in the attract, engage, convert, and retain stages. And at each one of these stages, some of these technologies will be used together to create that customer experience. Now, this may seem daunting. Yes, it's a lot more complicated than just turning on a shopping cart. But at the end of the day, what you're doing is creating an entire new channel for interacting with your customers. And that channel needs to be personalized. It needs to give that shopping experience that makes those customers want to come back and use you as their primary source for whatever product or service that you're selling. So as we look through these cycles, I kind of put together a list of all the different things that a customer might do as they're going through their journey. In the beginning, there's an attract phase, there's maybe a landing page, there's some marketing collateral, maybe there's some microsites that are specifically oriented to a particular topic. And then they get more interested, so they start looking at product pages, maybe they fill out an inquiry form. Finally, they're ready to buy. And so at this point, we should have been messaging them and sending them some offers and those kinds of things. There, we are on the e-commerce site. They're seeing recommended products, the checkout process, the cart, all that has to be seamless. And they're also today expecting to get online order and shipment statuses sent to them as well. So this is critical, and this is where you need to interact with your backend, your ERP, your distributor platform, or your warehouse platform, as well as maybe if you're using third-party carriers, even the big, FedEx, UPS, or even LTL or private carriers. These days, you should be able to give shipment statuses to everybody. The other thing that people are looking for is this automated reorder, especially in B2B. That is a function, really, of the whole solution. And finally, once they purchase, they are looking for help with the product post-purchase. So a knowledge base, forums, even account management. So this full e-commerce journey should be able to provide value at each one of these touch points. And if you can do that, you have a customer for life, because at the end of the day, what you're doing is you're not just providing a commodity good or service, you're helping them do their job, and that's what's going to keep them as a long-term customer. So there's a lot of stuff here, right? What else do you need? Well, a little pitch for Dunn Solutions Group. You need a partner who can tie this all together. And so at Dunn Solutions, we have the skills internally to be able to help set up and work with you to create this entire ecosystem and environment. We can help you with your e-commerce site and your branding and positioning of that site properly, as well as all the technical implementation and integration with your back-end systems. We also have a great data science team here at Dunn Solutions Group. So we do more than just Google Analytics. We do full-on analytics where we understand things like customer lifetime value, market basket analysis. We even help with customer segmentation and marketing mix. Marketing mix, how much money should you spend on different marketing channels, which is pretty hard to do. A lot of people just kind of guess. We have math behind us, so we can help you figure out how to do that. And then finally, marketing automation. We can work with you and your marketing team to create an automated marketing automation strategy where we're taking the results of those analytics and those segments, and then we're messaging customers with information about things they are actually interested in to help them on their journey and help them return back to your e-commerce platform and hopefully buy more things. So as a company, we can provide your implementation services on all of these different components. And this all doesn't have to happen on day one, but it's a vision of where you should go, and we'd love to be your partner and help you make that vision come true. So key takeaways from today's talk, and I apologize if there's just a lot of content in a short period of time, but B2B buyers really value the complete buying experience, not just what happens during the shopping process. It's everything from the beginning all the way to the end. And so to get that complete journey automated. To do that digital transformation, you need the following enabling technologies. You need, obviously, B2B commerce functionality, but you also need content management. We also feel that a portal is really critical to giving customers that full experience. And finally, tying it all together and driving that personalization is data analytics. So we're in a really stressful time now, a lot of things going on in the world. You might think this is a time to sort of wait and lay back until things get quote unquote back to normal. But my feeling is, and I think a lot of people agree with me, now is the time to make changes. Now is the time to prepare yourself to take action. Because if you do it now, you'll be in a fantastic position when things do get quote unquote back to normal. And if it takes longer to get back to normal, we are all doing way more online than we've ever done before. So this is the time to really start investing in your online digital transformation, especially around the sales process. And again, we're not advocating, displacing your direct sales team. We're advocating creating an alternative channel that's working 24/7 together with your sales team to be able to give your customers what they want when they want it. So I guess my last comment is, let's get started. On the slide here is some information of how to contact. Feel free to contact me directly at bill@dunnsolutions.com, or you can come to our website and you can just send an email to info@dunnsolutions.com to have one of our account managers follow up with you and see if we can help you have a successful B2B e-commerce experience. Again, thank you very much for joining me today, and I hope you got some value out of our presentation.